Welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and today is Christmas Eve. So this is going to be very, very short, but in the spirit of Christmas, I want to share with you the lovely story that I read this morning in the Metro section of the Washington Post. They always feature neighborhood, and this is no exception. This was such a beautiful story. It is about the neighborhood called um, Rogers Forge neighborhood, and this is right north of the Baltimore line. So about 45 miles away from us, about a half an hour drive with traffic. And I just cannot get over how warm this story made me feel. He This is a gentleman. It's about a young man called Mark Riggs. And at the end, hopefully, I can turn to his picture and just show it to you on the screen. As he witnessed, this is a couple Christmases ago, his neighbor struggling with depression, anxiety, the loss of a loved one, and struggling with all kinds of stress at work, he made a simple gesture. He took a string of lights. He lived directly across the street from her. He took a string of lights and strung it from his side of the street to her side of the street. And it just made such an impact on his community that what has happened, and I want to show you this picture, is that his neighbors made note of it. They started to do the same, stringing a light from one side of the street to the other. Then other uh, s- uh, streets in his neighborhood noticed how festive that looked. They started to do the same. And one gal spent the entire night staying up all night to put the words love lives here out of coat hangers and then wrapping it with light so that the effect was this. I hope I know everything is backwards, but I hope you can see the words strung across the first line. And it said, love lives here. And all the houses are decorated, but because those lights are strung across from one to the other, it has made a very special impact. And it really just made my heart feel warm because recently, all I have heard from friends and neighbors is and relatives is about illness, and to the point where several uh, festivities for Christmas had to be canceled because of illness. And I the sad thing is that that illness could be preventable. That illness was due to the fact that there were unvaccinated people who ended up becoming ill, and they were in the midst of a group of anywhere from 30 to 1,500 people, and multiple people became infected with the virus. And so many activities had to be canceled. And that to me is so tragic because this is so preventable. all you really have to do. And despite the fact that there are breakthrough cases in the vaccine, despite the fact that the yes, you can still get sick even if you've been vaccinated with a booster. Chances are you will not die, and we will slow this march that we have towards death, provided that people just simply follow scientific evidence and get vaccinated. So it it was it was a great way for me to start the morning, and I want to end it to you by reading something from the book, an essay in Own Your Power. And this is what I wrote for Christmas Eve. And the title of it was Christmas Eve Amazing Grace. I started out with not a very on a very happy note, and you'll soon see why. Had the Grinch stolen my inspiration for the Christmas letter that I kept trying to compose? Nothing I wrote sounded right. The angels and the guides all patiently waited while I listlessly plodded forward. Nothing seemed to come forth as a theme for this year's letter until I silently heard the words, Amazing Grace. Then thought about what those words meant to me. Amazing Grace held me in its embrace during my 20s as I struggled through a first marriage with 10 moves in 5 years, and then lost several favored careers as they came to a screeching halt and because of those moves, and finally through ended up in my last move in Virginia, what I thought was the deep South. And the irony was, since I came from the North, I thought I'd be looked upon as a damn Yankee and absolutely ostracized. I could not imagine anybody in Virginia welcoming me. And so the first experience I had was at a gas station. I was driving the truck because that I won't go into why, but nevertheless, I was driving the U-Haul that brought all our stuff to Virginia. And a young man goes, What's a pretty lady like you driving a truck for? And I looked at that and I looked at his and listened to his words and I thought, that's so charming. And then when I went and applied for the first rental property, she was in a country dress. She was in a dress all the way down to the floor. And I thought, well, I guess I'm in the South now. And so anyway, that was my first introduction to Virginia. Amazing Grace paved the way to a new life, a new career in real estate, which has lasted all these years, a new husband, two beautiful children, and three moves that landed us in South Run in a home that I absolutely ordered and envisioned for myself from the moment we bought our first home. It helped me stay continuously employed while raising my children, two beautiful souls who developed their own interests and pursuits. It sent me a husband who was always willing to pitch in to do whatever work needed to be done. Then a person who gave me the freedom to pursue that something more, which I searched for. Amazing Grace promoted a change in the makeup of my life, prepared me for spiritual pursuits, helped me self publish my first book, and opened my mind up to the wonders of the metaphysical. It filled every facet of my life, cementing new friendships, assisting me in developing my Reiki and intuitive and healing and teaching skills, and perfecting new techniques, enhancing old ones as we worked with patients who had cancer and other debilitating illnesses. It helped me witness innumerable kindnesses, spoken words that felt like feathers across my soul, healing hands that healed not only broken bodies, but also broken hearts, and smiles everywhere. Amazing grace has given me the fortitude to nurture and enjoy two very independent, very creative, entrepreneurial children. Elizabeth, www.elizabethjonesdesign.com, who works in film, commercials, and print media, and whose last work was she was the production designer of Bruised, the film with Halle Berry, the film that Halle Berry trained for 2 years. She did not use a double. In fact, in one of the scenes, and I think you'll be able to recognize where, in one of the flips, she broke 2 ribs. She continued working. She did not quit. So, and David, and his is www.setsandeffects.com, who does woodwork and set production and also works in films, commercial, and print media. He just returned from California. He had 2 Facebook installations. He has worked for Google, he's worked for Macy's, he's worked for a lot of household names. And so I offer you this simple wish. May your life be filled with amazing grace to soothe the rough spots, enhance the joyous ones, and provide you with the peace that you so richly deserve. And I just want to say hi to Joanne, my cousin, who is watching, and Bertha Paramo is watching on Facebook. So, and then the last 2 sentences in my essay was, when has amazing grace silently appeared in your life? And the last sentence is, recognize amazing grace every time it enters your life. So, for however you're celebrating the holidays, however you're celebrating Christmas, I wish you total joy, total peace, total love, total health, and prosperity. And if you need a meditation book, Own Your Power Day by Day is the best that is out there. Available through Amazon.com, available through my website, Alicja, ALICJA, Jones.com. If you forget how to spell that, just go Alice Jones Psychic. Take you to the same place. So I wish you the best. I will see you next week, just before New Year's. Thank you. Love you dearly, and am so happy to share these few moments of peaceful time with you. Thank you.